to the 8th on TSN.
An iHeart radio station and the voice of Toronto sports. This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
What's going on today?
What's going on today on a Monday? Here we are on a Monday. I love it.
I thought about your Jays last night, Hazy B, as I was watching golf, of all things.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to unplug, and there was a Tiger marathon on last night on the Golf Channel of him just destroying everyone. It's called Tiger 2000. In the year 2000, every tournament he teed it up. And he gets to the PGA, and there's stinky little Bob May. Bob May's like 5'7". He's got like a brown belt on, brown dress pants, and brown golf shoes, and this gigantic baggy white golf shirt. And I thought that was the Jays, because Bob May's like down the middle, and he's on the green, and he makes a 5-foot putt, and then Tiger Woods did not have his A game. And Bob May looked at him after and was like, how in the hell did that guy beat me, man? He didn't even have his best stuff, and he still beat me. The Jays are Bob May. They looked at the Dodgers, and they were like, they didn't even have their best stuff, and they won the championship. How did that happen?
I don't know if Bob May is the appropriate.
The Jays are Bob May.
The Jays are not Bob May.
They are.
They are Bob May.
Dude, Bob May was incredible, man. Bob May played the best golf of his life. The best Bob May could ever do in his entire life. And afterward, Tiger Woods stuck out his hand. He's like, Bobby boy, take a lap.
Okay, I'm not a big
Take a
golf guy.
lap, Bobby boy. You get nothing. And guess how many times you heard from old Bobby May after that?
Never
Zero.
Again. Yeah,
Yes.
never again.
Zilch,
You
but
never
that's-
even heard of him, Hayes. You've never even
No,
heard
I
of
remember
Bob.
that story, Bob May. I remember 245 off the tee, right down the middle, 6 irons into greens where Tiger
Dude,
was
Tiger's
hitting
golf
wedge.
balls were hitting cart paths and running down cart paths. And
That's where they went to the playoff, and he walked it in and he did the point. He pointed at Bobby May.
Yes,
just like,
Valhalla, PGA.
Yeah.
Stinky old Bob May. The Jays are Bob May.
They're
No,
not
they're
Bob
not.
May.
Dude, they are.
Stop saying that. The
Yeah, I've
Jays are
never-
not Bob
Dude,
May.
they are. I told
know-
you guys. And just a little thing. For everybody that thinks they weren't they were the underdog. Sorry. When the other team doesn't even play their best and they still win, you're the underdog.
Yeah,
they were
but-
the underdog.
But they did
Sorry.
get some. They did get some great performances. Like Yamamoto won games 2, 6, and 7. You're not supposed to physically do that in
Yamamoto is
baseball.
Tiger's putter. Yamamoto is Tiger's putter
but-
and the pointing. That's Yamamoto.
You guys know me. I'm not a huge golfer. I've never heard of Bob May ever in my lifetime. This
man.
is the first time. But I've heard of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I've heard of, Shane Bieber. I've heard of guys like
Hayes,
that. Scherzer.
you get my gist of what I'm saying. The Jays are like Bobby May.
Well, okay, I understand what you're alluding to. Now, I guess this is a challenge to the Blue Jays. Don't be Bob May.
Yes, don't disappear.
Yes, turn this into a scenario where you're maybe Sergio Garcia. Remember, Sergio famously went back and forth with Tiger. Was that in '99? I think it was.
Yeah.
And it took him a while,
Chicago.
but he got his green jacket, I think, in 2016 or whatever. And Sergio won a bunch of Ryder Cups, and he's a great player. The reality is we've all been looking at this World Series through the lens of the Blue Jays, which is natural. It's our hometown. This is where we are. This is the team we've been following. I think what you're trying to say,
Stinky Bob May.
what you're trying to get to is if you allow yourself to look through the lens of the Dodgers, this elevated their legacy even more than you could ever imagine, because now they're the no-quit Dodgers. Yes. Now they're the team that didn't quit. They're the team that maybe didn't have the right stuff, and that was always the viewpoint out of L.A. But I will say this, that got loud after Game 5. You know, I don't remember people in LA saying that Dodgers didn't have their stuff after Game 3, right? When Freeman walked them off in the 18th inning, I don't remember people saying, well, we're only hitting 200 and we're not even playing well and our stars aren't even. It became very convenient for Dodger fans when they thought they were going to lose, because they did. All of them at the parade today, all of them, I guarantee it, thought this is where Dodgers are going to lose. That's when that narrative started picking up. You know, Mookie's not playing great. You know, Snell's been getting hit all of a sudden. Deeper in the lineup, no one's getting big hits. Kike Hernandez, Mr. October in the past, couldn't do anything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, the Dodgers, they've gone back-to-back, and they just won what many people are considering the greatest World Series ever. And they're victorious, and they will be remembered. You know, like the reality is, you know, no one remembers who lost. That's right. You know, like that's the truth, and that's what sucks.
Like Tiger, they're not going anywhere for a little while. Ohtani and a lot of their main pieces are locked up. And what they've proven is if they do have their A game, watch out, because they will slaughter you like they did to Cincy, like they did to Philly, and like they did to Milwaukee. They kind of slacked off a little bit, didn't have their best stuff, and
the Jays
were
forced their
stinky
hands
old Bobby,
too.
man.
I mean, the Jays played very well.
Yeah,
right.
Jays
like the Jays
were great defensively. Like
the Jays across the board, they played very well, and they just couldn't get it done. And the nature of baseball, in some ways, similar to golf. Actually, I guess it's exactly similar. There's no clock. You can't sit there and say, just hold on. 10, 9, 8. Like, there's no clock. So it can turn on you immediately. You know, in golf, one bad hole, one bad shot, and everything changes. The same thing in baseball. Like, in Game 6, bottom of the 9th, everyone's thinking they're going to win. Like, they're actually going to second and third, nobody out. And then bang, bang, bang. 90 seconds later, you're leaving the park saying, what the hell just happened? They lost. And the same thing on Saturday night, Game 7, where, you know, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's running for home. You're thinking they've done it. Like, they're going to win the World Series. And then Clement hits that ball to deep left field, and you're thinking it's over. They're going to win the World Series. And they didn't. And that's what's been kind of incredible to me. I'm sure you guys have had the same experience. Everyone I'm talking to over the last 48 hours, it's the exact same thing. I still can't believe they lost.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't believe the Blue Jays lost. And that's what makes this so heartbreaking, is in order for you to get to a point where you can't believe it, that means you believed it with 100% certainty it was going to happen. That's what makes the heartbreak. That's why when we talk about, would it be easier just to get swept? The reason it's easier is because your heart isn't broken because you never believed.
Yeah, you didn't build it up in your head. You didn't build it up, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You're like, wow, they just, after Game 2, I knew it was done. So Game 3 was a formality. Game 4, I didn't even watch.
Right.
What makes this everlasting and what's going to make it, I think, remembered more in a heartbreaking fashion than in a positive, I enjoyed the ride fashion, and both can be true and both will be true, I think, with everyone, because there were great, great moments that will never be forgotten, is that even the eternal pessimist allowed himself to believe they were going to win. You thought they'd win, and they didn't. And you still can't believe they didn't win.
I know.
And now the Dodgers had their parade.
In summary, you don't like my Bobby May comparison. Well, you don't even think it's...
Well, Bob May, like the Jays, again, won the World Series in 92, 93. Bob May doesn't have back-to-back...
It doesn't matter. We're not talking about past track
records. Stinky old Bob May was not a top 5 player in the world. The Jays won the AL East. Dude, yeah, they won 94 games this year.
Dude, stinky old Bob May used to beat Tiger Woods in junior comps, all kinds of stuff.
Because he's 7 years older than
Doogie,
him.
Pull up Bob May's track record. See if he's done anything.
I don't think Bob May's done anything.
Bob May, what has Bob May done to get so many bullets here?
It doesn't matter.
I saw him last night. Bob May and say, you got to see these idiots in Canada. They're destroying you.
No one's. It's just. It felt the same. I just saw little Bob May stick out his Weasley little arm, and Tiger was just like, sorry, man. Sorry, Bobby. And take a lap while you're at it. And his caddy with his mustache, you take a lap too. And
So
it was
who's that, John
sealing.
Schneider? Who's the caddy with the mustache?
Yes, I guess so. I guess John
right.
Schneider was
I
Bobby
thought you
May's
were-
caddy.
Where I thought
Dude,
you were
get
going
a
to go.
picture of Bob May's caddy.
Yeah, where I thought you were going to go is this smelled more like the Florida Panthers. Because the Dodgers weren't great in the regular season, kind of just whatever, wherever we place, we're fine. Like this in a back-to-back situation. Had their backs up against the wall against Toronto, Game 7. They won it differently, but I just like this smelled more of Florida's pathway to a championship than stinky old Bob May type of thing.
I think you're right, and especially with the regular season, like they started on the road in the the wild card. They went to Milwaukee, obviously to Toronto. They went to Philly. They just got in. And there's Bob May.
Look at this. Look at Bob. See you later.
Well, I have his career stats at the majors.
Yeah.
And that was in 2000. He finished second at the PGA. His career high at the Open Championship is T11. His career high at the U.S. Open, I believe, is a T23, and at the Masters, a T43. So again,
no tour wins for Bobby.
Well, I'm sure he won some too. I was just looking at the majors.
Looked good at the Bell Canadian Open in 06, second finish.
Yeah, he won. He got a European Tour event. It's not a long list of success for stinky old Bob May.
His caddy, he's so pissed at him he didn't beat Tiger in the playoff.
What a mustache.
Well, what it really illustrates is how much your life changes if you win.
Yeah.
Right.
And how when the rich get richer, it's really frustrating because Tiger didn't need to beat Bob May, right? Like he didn't need to beat Bob May. Obviously, he's a competitor.
Dude, he didn't need to beat all of them. He had this little Stephen Ames was chirping him. Poor Stephen Ames.
Yeah.
That guy chirped him and said, "This Tiger Woods is hitting it all over the yard right now." And he went out there and beat Stephen Ames 9-8,
10-8.
Sorry, 10-8, and stuck out his hand and said, "How do you like that for hitting it all over the yard?"
Yeah.
Goodbye.
He literally beat him 10 straight holes, which
That
is borderline impossible in match play.
That's just making him eat his words.
Yeah.
That's
and by all accounts, the Dodgers weren't chirping the Jays before the series or during the series.
Yeah.
But there's no consolation in that.
Yeah.
In the
It's
end,
tough to take down the
sucks.
bet. He did it to this guy named Matt Gogol at Pebble Beach. Matt Gogol's leading Pebble Beach, and all of a sudden in front of him, Tiger Woods started birdieing every hole, and you could see the panic in Gogol's face. He started crumbling down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods wins the tournament. It was a nice break from the stress
Jays,
of the World Series. Just Tiger winning everything.
But the Jays didn't crumble. It was
I
extra innings.
I know, but it was just like the greatness seems to always.
Now, you're right. So, Brian? If you had to sum all of this up, where was your TSN turning point? Is it too fresh? Is it Game 6? Is there a play that you could point to and go, that changed the fortunes? Was it Barger getting picked off? Is it the Pages catch?
I think it's for me. It's still so fresh, and things will change over time. I'd probably have to lean the Rojas home run in the 9th.
Yeah.
That ties it. You're 2 outs away. You get the 9-hitter up.
When you're
Hoffman's on the mound.
You're looking to Shohei going, let's get this guy out of the way. You
right.
know what I mean?
That was kind of the belief. It's almost like just strike this guy out. And, Rojas, he saved them. Like that's the incredible thing. Again, if you put back on your Dodgers glasses, that was a 9-hitter that he won't have his jersey retired. There's no statues built for him.
Right.
But Miguel Rojas kept the dynasty alive, kept the streak going.
Unsung hero.
And, that might be unfair to Hoffman because Bieber, like the home run he gave up to Will Smith, go back and watch that pitch.
Dude, it's
it's
pumpkin down the middle at 84.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible how awful that pitch was. Like, you feel for Bieber, but that's a hanging middle matzo ball that Will Smith tattooed. And,
he did.
That was 84 miles an hour, middle.
Right over the middle of the plate. And
Stinky old
tough.
Bob May takes that 1 yard.
Yes. Bob May hits a 9.
You get Bob May in that gear, in his golf gear, and his cleats, he goes yard on that. That little weasel.
Yeah.
And his caddy would too.
Yeah, he probably does. So yeah, and then I think the kind of Falefa slide, like everyone's now isolated the slow motion. Smith, his foot coming up and then going back down on the plate, and IKF sliding in, and it's milliseconds away from winning the World Series. It's like 2 inches away from the World Series, and that'll be clearly a lasting image that people will never forget.
It is crazy. He did come up. I remember thinking he's going to get called safe. They're going to overturn it, and then I think Buck is like, nah, he got it back down. I was like, oh, my God.
He did. And there's Will
But
Smith.
the thing about that is Varsho's up to bat, and I understand because a lot of Major League credible baseball players are chiming in on that, saying that's the protocol. But with Varsho up there being a left-handed bat, how many times is he going to line one out to Max Muncy at third and get doubled off? What's the probability of that?
Like never. Like the way he hits.
That's my only thing about
hitter.
it. The probability of him lining one out to the left side of the infield and getting doubled off, it just makes you wonder, like, wasn't there just a little bit? And you're going to ask yourself there's going to be breakdowns of him, the whole thing, his effort level, like the actual running. That's going to be broken down for years, man.
Yeah, you're
years.
Right. Because that was hit, I wouldn't say deep into the infield, but it wasn't like it wasn't the Dodger player didn't charge the ball, or like he had to reset and throw it. And it was a great throw, and credit the Dodgers because they executed. Like they executed in every situation. Mm-hmm. But you're right. I've noticed that too. Like the brotherhood of Major League Baseball is coming to the defense of Kiner Falefa and the Blue Jays staff, who I'm sure the third base coach would have been on him. This is what you do. We don't want you getting picked off or doubled off, like you said. There's a line drive anywhere in the infield. But it was a tie game, and it kind of brings up, gut instinct, and maybe we're thinking of it through the lens of like Hollywood and the Major League theme song, but just take a little bit more of a lead and take off. Like just gamble a little bit to win the World Series. And it didn't happen.
Safe as death. That's really what it is. It comes back down to it. Is when you try and play safe, eventually, and it might have been because of the Barger situation the game before, right? You're a little bit more safe, and you had it right there. You're 90 feet away. Now, the Dodgers at that point made a great play as well. Like it's not like, they knew what was coming. It sucks, but there's so many different things that we can pull from this. Like you're that close, frustrating the fan. You talk to every fan today, though. Everybody that I've talked to loved the ride. They're sad, but they're like, man, what a ride. Like you don't get that.
They don't deserve a parade, though, Jamie. It's people are saying give them a parade. They don't.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, there's no parade. There's no runner-up parade. I'm sorry. I don't believe in that. But I do. I think from a fan's perspective, I could be wrong because I'm a little bit more, I'm not as big a super fan, but like people enjoyed this ride for 2 months.
How could you not?
How could you not?
Yeah, you'd never give it back. You'd never give it back. Even with the heartbreak and all that, you'd never give it back because it was just an awesome, 6 weeks. We talked about it yesterday. It was just an incredible. The final 10, 12 games of the regular season where the Yankees are on their heels and they're chasing down the American League East all the way up until the last out on Saturday night. It was just an incredible run, and it's captivating. It's there's civic pride. There's everyone's connected to it. People that aren't sports fans, that aren't baseball fans, Blue Jay fans, they get involved. What's going on? What's the score? And it was awesome. It was a great ride, and the players, they all should be incredibly proud of themselves. They will be. The organization did an amazing job. The fans showed up. It was awesome. But you turn the page over, and now you get into the offseason, and it happens quick. Free agency's right around the corner. The winter meeting's right around the corner. Like, it happens quickly. You're going to see action soon. Yeah. And, the jaded nature of sports fans immediately are thinking, well, what are the Dodgers going to do next?
Dude,
You
no
know,
kidding.
like let me guess,
and the
they're
baseball offseason is a little weird, Hayes. It's like it happens quickly, but it's almost like this.
Well, it can slow roll. It can slow
Yeah.
roll too. There are guys that get all the way to spring training that aren't signed, big names.
Yeah,
That does happen, and that very
Bregman's
well
an example. I think Bregman went right till training camp last year.
Scherzer as well. Now Scherzer a bit different because of his age, but still he was late. And you know what happens with Bichette? Kyle Tucker's the biggest name on the market. Where does he end up going? Tarek Skubal could be traded by the Tigers. You know, if they're not going to pay him, they very well could trade him. That's a Cy Young winner. That's maybe the best arm in baseball. Skubal's available. Do the Dodgers go trade for him and then give him $400 million?
If they do that, then it's – but it wouldn't shock me if they did.
I wouldn't
It's
be
either
shocked.
them or the Yankees that are going to get him. So
More than likely, but this is what I'm getting to. Why not the Jays?
Couldn't the Jays put their hand up and
Why
say
can't
we're-
you pay a guy $400 million? Do you know how
Well, they
much
can
money they
pay
just
him.
made in the last 6 weeks for
They
this
can
season?
pay him,
They
but
can pay him. You
what
want
would
to
they have?
run with the big dogs and not be Bob May? You got to go out there and be in the mix for a guy like Tarek Skubal and a guy like Kyle
T-shirts.
Tucker.
Let's get hoodies. Don't be Bob May.
Don't be Bob May.
With a
and in
picture
order to
of
do
his
that, because the
stinky
Jays
little
spend
face.
money. They spend money. And now maybe they don't want to give up the assets, and maybe the Tigers don't trade him. Maybe he stays there forever. But if it gets to a point where they go to the winter meetings and the reports are out there from Hazenthal and everyone else that Skubal's available and he will be traded, and whoever's acquiring him will likely sign him long term. Now, maybe Skubal won't agree to that. Get in the front of the line, man. Get active, get crazy. And that would be my message to the front office. Get back to work because you got a taste of it here. You've got a really good framework. I'm doing what I can to keep Bo Bichette. Like, I am doing what I can to keep Bo Bichette. I think Bichette genuinely would want to stay. It's going to cost money. He's 27 years old. He's still in his prime. He's a big bat. You know, if you're relying on or expecting some regression from certain guys, you know, I think Springer's a name that people would point to at 36. Does he have the exact same season next year as he had this year? I think that's asking a lot.
Right.
Bo Bichette just had a phenomenal year and a great World Series on one leg. So I'm doing what I can to keep Bo. I'm doing what I can to get in the chats with Tucker and get in the chats with Skubal. Get crazy. Get crazy and keep going. And I think if they don't do that, it would be a disservice to the fans who all showed up. You know, and I think they saw it. I would guess ownership is probably more ambitious than ever.
That would be a good thing
deserves
to
to
keep
be.
the hype train going if you're in on a couple of the top guys and you
Yes.
don't let them get away this time and you say, okay, we're one of the big boys now too. But it'd be awfully difficult to do with
Money is what's going to get it done, though. You know, like money
Dude,
is
I
what.
totally get that.
Yeah, like Skubal's different because he'd have to have the pieces and you'd have to make trades, and you know that might be pie in the sky stuff. But let's say it's Tucker. Let's say he's sitting there saying, I'm simply going, who's paying me?
Yeah.
Well,
But there
win that
used to be
race.
like a Blue Jay tax. Like George Springer, I believe, his deal, there was a Blue Jay tax. There was an extra year at $26 million on it, and that's
Pay
what they
the
had
tax.
to do to get it. Huh?
I hear you. It still might exist, though.
Yeah.
Pay it.
No kidding. Just because everybody's in love with Toronto right now, it doesn't mean if a guy's picking over the Dodgers or the Yankees, there still might be – it might be $450 instead of $400. Who the hell knows what it might be? But it might be out there.
It probably is. Oh, regardless of this run or not, you're looking at the country. You're looking at, not every city, not every situation is desirable in all of these leagues. So you still might have to pay that, we'll call it the Blue Jay tax to get. But to Brian's point, they can afford it. And they've gone big game hunting. They haven't been able to land, the last couple, but doesn't mean they haven't landed guys before.
That's right.
Like Springer
right.
was a big,
Big
acquisition. Like he was a big get. Like, so to me, they'll be able to get guys. It's just who, and what are you either willing to pay or give up for assets if you have to trade for somebody big.
Well,
Like,
and
that's
also,
different.
listen, it's still a business. It's still about money. Like you said, there are some guys who want to play here, some guys who don't. Some players that want to play in New York, some that don't. Some want to play in LA, some don't. Some want big markets, some want small. Everyone's a little bit different. But I think what this has changed is the ability even for the guys in the middle, which would be Atkins and Shapiro, to sell to the guy at the top, the owner, that you got to pay that tax.
Right.
Like they by all accounts, the owner was willing to do it for Ohtani to an extent for Soto, although I don't think they ever got close to the numbers that Soto ended up getting from New York. And that might have been because the owner was like, well, are we really that close? Like, you guys keep telling me that, but you go out and prove that we're actually close. Well, they lost in the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. You can't be any closer. No team has ever been closer than that. So that barrier, I think, dropped, and that's an important one. Not as much about the other players and free agencies and their viewpoint. The barrier between management and the owner may have adjusted, where the owner is, hey, let's get crazy here. Let's have a 3-year window where you spend like the Mets. Does he have the stomach for it? We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he would.
But if he does, they can. Because there are guys that might say, hey, I'd kind of rather be here, but this team's offering me $50 million. Done. I'm taking it. Thank you. You know, and that's like Yamamoto's an example. The Yankees offered him $300 or whatever and thought, well, that's enough. This guy's a free agent from Japan. He's never been over here. $300 million. Dodgers said, we'll give you $352. Done. Thank you. $52 million. I'll take it. Maybe he was going to L.A. anyway.
Yeah,
but
he might have been.
$52 million is $52 million. Fine the $52 million. All right, Frankie Corrado coming up. Leafs 6-5-1. 6-5-1.
Turn the corner. Everything's good.
Turn the corner. We'll get into what happened on Saturday. We'll tee up the game tonight with the Pens in town. Your Penguins. Penguins are in town.
They had a tough loss against Winnipeg, but I just never count them out.
Okay.
Never count them out.
Frankie's coming up on that. There's a lot going on in the NHL. We got to play the McDavid clip, too, after the game about
I told you. I told you guys yesterday. You were laughing about it. I'm like, this guy, they were playing the game, like the Blue Jays game, on the Jumbotron during the game.
They did it
By
in
the
LA,
way,
too.
PSA, you got to have transportation for people leaving the ball game.
Yeah,
no kidding.
There was some negative stuff.
Let's get serious here.
Biggest event the city's had in years.
Yeah.
And again, like we said, there's no clock. It could go on forever. They could have played 20 innings. What are people going to do downtown at 2 a.m? Sorry, TTC's closed and the GO train. Just leave the park so you can jump on the train. Yeah. You know, just the lack of foresight, just absolutely absurd. But they had a big meeting today. So that was important. Yeah, everyone got together.
They're going to fix it in the future. It might be 30 years down the road.
Yeah. Next time we won't. Next time we'll realize the magnitude of the World Series.
Like Game 7 just crept up on you.
Next year we'll figure it out. We'll get to it next time. All right, Frankie coming up, Luke coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Luke Wilson coming up in half an hour on a pretty crazy Sunday in the NFL. Monday nighter tonight, Dallas, Arizona. Overdrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. We're streaming live, of course, up on YouTube Live on TSN's YouTube channel. We did a little emergency show yesterday morning, which was awesome, and you can find that on YouTube. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And I was so exhausted, man. I saw some of the clips. Dude, I looked horrible yesterday.
Zombie. You were a zombie.
You had your hat on, you were cross-eyed, and you did well, though.
I tried. Well, I tried my hardest, but I was on no sleep.
Yeah, your voice, you could tell. Your voice was shot, too. Like, you were like, you were on fumes.
You had enough.
Right. Yeah, but I had the Cabot hat on. Shout out to Cabot, right, out east. Love that place.
Right.
Great spot.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. But we turned the page. More on the Jays, obviously, throughout the day and throughout the week. But now it's the opportunity for the team right down the street, right down Bremner, for the Leafs to come alive.
Yeah.
And to chat about the Leafs and other stuff going on throughout the NHL, here's our good buddy Frankie Corrado joining us now. What's happening, Frankie?
What's up, boys? Man, that light, it's a little bright. I might have to turn it down or something.
Yeah.
It's looking weird. Did you guys, by the way, you guys did the emergency show on the weekend. Did you guys see the thumbnail they used on YouTube? Are you aware of what's going on in that thing?
No,
in that picture?
I didn't pick up on that.
So Hayes has, like, blue steel going. Like, he looks like he's doing the pouty lips or whatever. And Noodles has the Brandon Tanev face. and I can't for the life of me figure out why Noodles is making Brandon Tanev face.
Oh yeah.
Look at
What
you
is that,
guys.
Noodles?
I don't know. What the hell is that picture? Like,
That
what
is
I
the
don't
I don't
Tanev
know what that
face.
is. I don't
I
know
never
what
noticed
that
that.
is.
Yeah.
And O kind of looks like he's got a little like is it a little cookie duster he's got there?
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't even look like
it's
O.
kind of
Yeah.
It
who
doesn't
are
even
those
look like
guys?
Just
Like, yeah,
seems
it's a
so
crew cut.
simple not to screw that pickup. And for some reason, whoever did that had to go and get some different picks. It's just, I don't know. There's some stock picks that would have been so easy, or none. Or none.
I support that pick. I like that
yeah.
pick.
Yeah,
I
I
look
bet.
like a professional journalist. Like that means a lot of business in that pick. I like that one.
I look
Oh,
like I just
man.
got tased.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on.
I'm glad you
with
picked
that.
up on that. I didn't even notice that. I like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shot of Noodles though. That has
I think
to become
honestly,
your stock photo.
I kind of think Hayes picked all that because he looks like he's doing pouty lips, like he's
Yeah.
walking the runway or
yeah.
something.
Oh,
It's
he's got
crazy
that all
stuff.
covered, Frankie. When he went to the Raps game, he told the camera guy, I'm going to look at you and give you a wink. And when I do that, wheel by, and I'm going to give a blue steel for the ages. And he got it.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted.
That is
Nice.
my
Well
most
done.
famous
Well
moment.
done.
That is my most famous moment, courtside at the
No,
Raptor game.
My favorite picture is still the you and O dog, where O looked like your dad. He was
Oh, yeah.
85 years
Elf.
old in the picture.
Yeah, down at the alumni
Elf
box.
from Melmac.
Yeah, me and Elf watching the Leafs play. And
It is alumni
maybe we'll do
coat.
that tonight because,
Yeah.
you know, the Pens are in town. And are you buying Pittsburgh stock, Frankie? Because O-Dog is a true believer. Where do you stand on the Pens?
It's been a great start for the Penguins, but a lot of it is propped up on goaltending. Like Artur Shilovs and Tristan Jarry. Like Jarry has turned back the clock a little bit, and he's playing outstanding. Shilovs has been great. The other thing is, and this is something that's not news to Penguins fans, is that Geno Malkin still has it. Crosby still has it. But at some point, the dam is going to break a little bit, but they're not going to be the bottom feeder team that I think a lot of people thought, like just sell off all the assets and you're going to finish dead last place. They're better than that. Are they going to be in the playoff mix? We'll see. Like that remains
What if
to be
it
seen.
crumbles, though, Frankie? Like, I'll ask all of you. What do they do if it crumbles just around Christmas time and afterwards? heading up
Go
to
ahead,
the
Frankie,
deadline?
and I'll
Well,
weigh in after.
I would put it to you this way: they will, if like someone like Malkin, who's on an expiring contract, they can still make a deal to move on from it. That would be pretty monumental to move on from a player that's been there, and they can still be a decent enough team that they're in some kind of mix. You know, like we've used that term a lot over the past few years. I don't think they're going to do anything to mortgage their long-term future to say we just got to make the playoffs this year and give it one last run. Like they've gotten themselves to this point where they've got some young pieces that are playing, like the Kindle kid, the Brunick defenseman. They're really good. They're young though,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't do anything to mortgage their future.
My biggest question is, this was the only team in the offseason that was open for business, flat out. Like you talk to managers, it's like, okay, this outside of Sydney, whatever he's going to do with his future, everyone else seemed to be available. And, you know, Raquel is injured, so that one puts a wrench into, you know, people potentially acquiring him or paying a king's ransom for him. Brian Russ controls his contract, but you know, he was apparently available. Again, this is just hearsay, but I believe the people that I talk to. Does their thought process change with, you know, now you're 20 games in, 30 games in, and like you say, Frankie, maybe you have a market correction, but you're still in the mix. Does Kyle go, if somebody comes knocking for Raquel, do you go, okay, I'll move him because I'm building for the future here? Or does he say, you know what, give me another couple months and I'll move him at the deadline? Because there might be teams that want to be proactive right now to try and separate themselves from the pack.
Yeah. Well, and if you followed the teams that are looking for center iceman, especially, like Raquel can play wing, he can play center. Evgeny Malkin, of course, center iceman. Like, everyone's looking for one. 27 teams need a second-line center, and it's just not available. So if you have it in Pittsburgh – and you can get something that's going to help you, whether it's a prospect or a young guy who's on an NHL roster, not talking picks, right? Like that's not going to do them any good to be better in the next 3-4 years. I think the prices to acquire players that they currently have on their roster are going up, especially when you see Malkin, kind of skating and playmaking the way that he is right now. It's been a good good piece of news for the Penguins, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it's been a great start, like to their credit. And it's interesting in the East, there's 4 teams that have separated, 4 teams at 18 points. The Habs, the Devils, the Penguins, Detroit. No one saw that. Maybe Detroit or maybe New Jersey. Like maybe the Devils were a team that could come out hot. But everyone else has either 13 or 14 points. Like 12 of the teams in the East are 1 game away from completely flipping everything, which is where, again, the Leafs come into play. It's 6-5-1, and it's the sky is falling. What an awful start. They look
terrible.
Look
at the whole division, man.
But that's my point is, like, even the guys at the top, like if the 4 teams at the top were Florida, Tampa, Washington, Carolina, you'd be like, all right, well, the teams from last year are doing it again. Why aren't you? None of those teams are doing that. And, on Saturday, a lot of people were preoccupied with what the Jays were doing, but the Leafs played well. They played well, but they lost Tanev. And that's what is really the story of the game for me is what happens with Chris Tanev, and we don't have an answer on that. But it's very scary stuff when a guy leaves on a stretcher. He just got back from a concussion. You can't replace him. But how do they survive without him if Tanev's going to be out long term?
It's hard, man, because that's the guy that eats up all your big minutes against tough competition, and the team's not defending well right now. Like they're not. They've been leaky. Now Saturday's night's game is a different story, but how do you get by? It was not thin on name value, but it was thin on guys that could really do something that were different, right? Like it's a lot of the same kind of slow boots, have some issues moving the puck. Like Morgan Riley gets on the ice and he can make something happen offensively, especially when he's on the ice with Matthews' line. But it's a big issue, man. How did they replace Chris Tanev before they had him? It was tough. They really needed a player like Tanev, being able to put him out there in penalty kill situations, blocking shots. Like one of the things that really goes under the radar as far as Tanev is concerned, and it hasn't been as great this year, maybe in years past, but the ability to break pucks out clean, draw in a forechecker and slide it under someone's stick and hit the middle of the ice, something Tanev does really well. But not having him and then having him for he's not getting any younger. It's been tough. It's been tough. Like you need more out of Jake McCabe. You need way more out of Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Way more out of Brandon Carlo. It's just it's cliche, but it's true. Like those are the guys that can make a difference. If you're asking more from Simon Benoit or Philippe Myers, I'm just not sure you can get that much more from those guys. They kind of are with
skating, being in shape, but I still think he's probably a conditioning stint. With the Marlies, you're not just going to step right back in. This guy missed training camp, everything. I think it's a conditioning stint, and then he comes back up. That hit, in watching the game, like, it was, from behind, he skated back in, but it wasn't like this egregious, like, no. It was really a weird hit. Like, I don't know how you guys.
Sometimes you see hits like that. When I think Prong's, one of his last hits was in Philadelphia too.
Yeah,
and it didn't seem like just a crazy hit. It was like kind of a nothing hit, and then all of a sudden, guys are gone. Yeah. Scary stuff, man.
That was scary.
Doesn't it remind you of, remember Muzzin? Muzzin had those couple concussions, and then he took that one last one where you're like, that didn't seem like much, but it just kind of had compounded at that point, right? That's the thing that scares you about it.
That's what's concerning. And, remember Jake McCabe, the same thing. I think it was last year. He left a couple different times, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like back-to-back concussions in short order. Now he's back and playing, and you hope for the same from Tanev, but the Muzzin example is a good one, but it's a scary one. That they accumulated too much, and it got to a point where he couldn't trust, his own body. And if he got hit, even if it wasn't an egregious hit, it may not work for him. We'll see. Because Tanev, he's not going to play anytime soon. And we always focus on the acquisition of maybe a top six winger, maybe a centerman. Well, it could be a defenseman if Tanev's not going to play for a while.
I see. The stretcher thing really rattled me because I was like, we all know Tanev's had issues with the shoulder, with the head, everything. This guy's an absolute warrior, absolute warrior.
Nails. He's nails, Noodles.
And one of the best humans you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But I was like, that he ran into a fire hydrant too. That kid is not fading away to a mountain. That kid is already looks a little thick right now. But the point being, I thought it was his shoulder. Like, I was like, okay, weird. He's going to have to get up and skate it off, but maybe he popped his shoulder out. And then when the stretcher came out, I was like genuinely concerned. You're sitting there going, that's not right. He's not moving. He's not, they did give the thumbs up.
That brings it to a different level.
Yeah,
that
it really
definitely
does.
brings it to a different level.
Is it reported, Hayes, that it is long term? Like he's coming
No, there's
back?
been no updates. Just that he's back in Toronto. But I think it's safe to say you anticipate he's not playing for quite some time.
Oh, especially when it's the second one in 2-3 weeks, right? Like that's.
I thought they put him on LTIR. Did they not?
Yeah, he's on IR for sure. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but he's not playing. I mean, let's put it that way. He's not playing for a while, and we'll see what comes of it. But on Saturday, Easton Cowan got his first NHL goal, and it was a beauty. Like it was a beauty. A really nice play by Tavares, which I think is really cool because if this kid is in the league for 15 years, then when he retires, someone's going to ask him who set up your first goal, and Tavares is going to be like 53 years old at that point, and say, oh, it was John Tavares. Really? John Tavares? Yeah, I guess so. But that, I don't know if that's a goal scorer's goal, though. What do you think of it? Like, that's a good shot, man. And he's on the board, and it looks like he might play on the second line tonight. Like, he's still an interesting part of the conversation. What happens with Easton Cowan the rest of the way?
Yeah. I think
he should be here.
It's obviously a good goal, guys, but I think you see from that shot where Johnny talked about it, like to shoot the puck in the National Hockey League and beat goaltenders, that's kind of maybe he's got to get a little more tighter to the net than most guys. Like you saw Matthew's shot, it seemed to be a little bit more from distance. And it's like that extra 10 or 15 feet for guys that shoot the puck. There's only 10, maybe 15 guys in the league that can blow up by goalies from distance.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about.
Vladar was no good. I mean, that Robertson goal was terrible. Like, there's a reason why Vladar got lifted. He was terrible.
But the bottom line is with this guy, it seems like he's going to have to – maybe he's just going to have to get in tight to beat goalies. But it's a good start. Yeah. And the timing was perfect because when you get around 10 games, you're like, am I ever going to start doing something that looks like I'm a player here? So hopefully he can gain some confidence in it because if it goes on longer than that, you're like, what the hell am I doing out there?
Yeah. I kind of like the progression of Easton Cowan is good, though, because it's not like he came out of the gate soaring high and had all the production right away, and then he tailed off and then was spinning his wheels trying to find it. It was almost like a little bit of a slow burn where you kept him out of the lineup, threw him in the press box just so he could see what's going on. Then he gets a few reps, and then he looks again, see, do I have more time with the puck than I think? Can I make the plays that I normally make? How much pressure do I really have on me? All those things are really important when you're trying to feel out the NHL and the differences of where you're coming from. And for me, like Cowan's doing a better job, and he just brings a little energy into this lineup where it does feel stale watching the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Yes, they're big. Yes, they're heavy, but they're slow booted, and Cowan brings a little bit of that like Energizer Bunny, which he should bring at such a young age, and he's going to have the skill to make plays. And if you put him in a position with a guy like John Tavares, he's going to have good enough insulation that, if a puck gets bobbled in the wall on his own zone, like he's going to be okay. There's going to be someone that can make up for it. I think the progression of Cowan it feels appropriate for like longevity. Not that you came in guns a-blazing and then you fizzled out. Like I like the slow cook that he's had so far this year.
Yeah, and he's played basically everywhere up the lineup. And he's had every possible line mate you can have, and I think. Again, that's likely to continue, but you're right. He's playing tonight, and it's a big one. The Leafs have to get cooking. It's into November. They didn't have a good October. Generally, they respond with a very good November. Let's see what comes of it tonight. A lot of home games, 4 straight home games. They got a homestand all throughout the week again. Like at some point, they're really going to hit the road.
Like they've got to take advantage of this schedule.
Take advantage.
Man. Like they're playing teams that haven't been in the playoffs, and they got to get these points.
Yes,
they've got to get the points.
You've got to get the points. All right, Frankie. Should be a fun one tonight. Enjoy it. We'll do it again soon.
All right, boys. We'll talk soon.
There he is, Frankie Corrado, our TSN hockey analyst. Leafs Pens tonight. We'll get into more hockey talk later this afternoon, including Mark Scheifele leading the league in points, I believe, right now. And is he on the Team Canada radar?
Canada.
Absolutely,
Should be.
among others. Because I think we got to start doing that. Really start looking ahead. They're going to announce the team in, a month and a half, couple months?
Yeah. I think at the end of the week, we put together the OverDrive Team Canada. We compile our own list as a team. We're the management team.
I like that. And then we can make adjustments every week, possibly.
Yeah, consensus.
Some guys coming in, some guys going out. There's going to be injuries, unfortunately, right? Things are going to happen. All right.
But who's going to have the final say?
Not me. I don't want the final say. I'll
Noodles,
present it.
you are the GM of Team Canada for us. We're going to have...
Well, the three of us will round table it.
I know, but somebody's got to be Dougie Arms.
Yeah, that's right.
Give me the Army role.
All right, you're Doug Armstrong.
Yeah.
I'll play Kyle Dubas. Dubas is on his staff. I'll get a pair of glasses. I'll play Dubas.
Put the goggles on.
Oh, you can be who else is on his staff? Is Ken Holland still working with I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, who else is on the staff?
There's someone else on the staff. We'll find it. We'll figure it out. For role play purposes.
I'll be John Cooper because he's heavily involved.
That's valid, too. Cooper's definitely heavily involved.
I think Tony Cirelli might make that. See, Tampa's won 5 in a row quietly.
Yeah. Still at the bottom of the East, though, Noodles. Still at the bottom of the East.
Aren't they third?
Well, they got 14 points like everyone else.
Yeah. Everyone is jammed together, man. It's a rat
third
race.
In the division.
They're good. They're very good. No one's suggesting they're not.
Well, you guys did last week when I wasn't on the show.
All right.
You and Little Jonas started popping up.
All right.
His yap.
All right. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Really want to send out an apology to all the Jays fans for my take off the top. They're offended. They're mad. And they said, stop it. It'll never happen again. My only idea was it's hard to take down the guy at the top. That's it. That's all I wanted to kind of.
You're talking about the Bob May comparison?
No, don't even say it. They don't even want to hear the name again.
All right. Well,
deeply offended.
Bobby May.
I'm very sorry.
It was Bob May today. On Friday, it was the trophy ceremony.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, what do we have in store tomorrow?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It.
I'm not starting the show tomorrow. You guys,
all right.
You guys come up with some kind
we
of
got something.
Stupid idea to start the show tomorrow.
We're fine. It's all good. Everyone's fine. Everyone's going to be fine.
On edge. I just loved it. You go Stinky Bob.
I'll come up with something better tomorrow.
We'll have something great tomorrow.
It'll be great.
Okay.
Great.
Luke's coming up. You guys are on the clock tonight, right? Big game, Dallas, Arizona. How about those Bills? I told you the Bills would win. I knew they would.
Me and Luke, there's some things that aren't great. Me and Luke.
Okay. More on that into the next hour, and our best bets coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
With Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Luke Wilson here in a moment on the Monday Nighter tonight. Big one for Dallas at home. That offense, is potent. The defense is terrible. We'll see what the Cardinals have in store. They've lost a lot recently. So Owen Wilson will be on the clock. We'll catch up with Luke here in a moment. Big statement win, like they always do during the regular season, Bills over Chiefs. They love beating Kansas City during the regular season, which does count for something, but they're probably going to see them again down the road. I think you're going to see them down the road, and it's very likely going to be in Buffalo because the Chiefs are chasing it, man. Yeah. Denver's right there, and the Chargers are right there, and the Chiefs, they got to get cooking here. They're going to make the playoffs, but there's no guarantee they win the division at this point.
What's the record right
last
now?
night?
What are they, 5-3, I believe? I think they're technically out of the playoffs right now. Like technically
I think they might have 4 losses, man. That might be crazy to say, but the Chiefs might have 4.
5-4. You're right. They're 5-4. Yeah, they're 5-4. I want to say they're going into their bye week. I believe they are, and they are technically on the outside looking in of the playoff
on the bubble.
picture.
Yeah, on the bubble.
So,
How do you think
Chargers
they
are
looked last
6-3, and the Broncos are 7-2. So that's just within your own division what you're chasing if you're Kansas City. And credit to the Bills. Ed Oliver's hurt, but that pass rush was great last night, and Josh Allen was slinging it. And when he's in the mood, I don't know how you stop that guy. I don't know how you stop that guy.
Are you still confident with your early season predictions? Because I remember sitting on my couch in the summertime, and you were up on the podium with Dave Naylor and Sarah Davis, and you said the Bills are going to win it all, and I wouldn't be shocked if Josh is the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what
that was
your
one of my
prediction
bold
was.
predictions. Yeah, I said Bills Super Bowl, Allen doubles down on MVP. I feel very good about both. Very good.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
I do. I do, because this is the way he was talking about his game post-game. He used the term slotting. I guess he just has this feeling when he's throwing the ball that when he's on, he's on. And he said yesterday he could feel it early, and he's been working hard on it the last couple of weeks. So if he's feeling it and he has, still half the season to play or more, and he's just going to get better every week, his numbers are going to be absurd. His numbers are going to be absurd. I still think they win the AFC East. Full credit to New England. New England's 7-2.
Yeah.
But I think Allen and the Bills really get cooking into November, December. It's a different ball game later in the season, man.
Yeah, it's just about winning the big one for them, man.
Yeah.
They're obviously going to get to that moment where it's now is the time where you got to come through. And Josh Allen, you got to be the best player and make the play at the right time to beat the other guy.
Yeah.
If you smell what the Win Wilson is cooking.
Hearts, we are Milli Vanilli, man. We're
back.
Milli Vanilli.
I've got some good news. I've got some bad news, Parts.
You're gassing me?
No, absolutely not. Of course not. Of course not. If anyone is to blame here, it's myself. So we'll get into that. But first off, I do want to mention there is a crack in the armor of Hayes and Bros right now. The fact that they took the Colts when Bill Coward, was giving a pregame speech to the squad, and they were honoring, is it the 05 Steelers team, and they don't know that information. You think that team being in the building is not going to inspire Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers to at least cover, let alone win? These guys are Muppets, but the problem is I've been terrible. 12-14, you see the record there. So the reality is, Parts, I had to go and really look myself in the mirror and be like, what is going on this year? I'm clearly not seeing the board. So I went out and hired my own guy. I got my own brother version of Al's bro. His name's Pudge. Pudgy's Picks. So I've got Pudgy's Picks coming in.
Pudgy? You have a guy named Pudge.
Yes.
You're claiming a foxhole guy now for your team.
We're going to give him a shot tonight. I spoke with him earlier. I said, I'm not seeing the board. This is a must-win tonight.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is a must-win. Listen.
Dude, let me ask you this, though. Are you going to reveal Pudgy or no?
Tonight, no. But if he hits this, I think I'm going to be honest with you. Pudge I've known since kindergarten. I've known Pudge for a very long time.
No, you don't, dude. It's Doogie.
No, it's not Doogie. It's not Doogie. Pudge loves to hack darts. He's living in LaSalle, Ontario right now. He's my absolute guy.
All right.
I think I'm going to ride with Pudge's pick tonight. Pudgy's Picks.
Okay, man. Well, listen.
I think he's
dangerous game. A guy that played in the league is going to lean on a man named Pudgy.
Now,
we need now. Just to let you know, Pudge is skin and bones. All right, so there's kind of a play on words here, but we need a spark, Parts. We need a spark sometimes.
Dude, I get it, man. I get it. We're losing to the two biggest losers of all time.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now, and I know Toronto fans will be mad at me, but I'm bringing in Miguel Rojas in Game 6. I'm just looking for a play. That's what I'm doing.
Dangerous. We don't just start playing that game.
We don't need that talk. They hate us enough already. Yeah, we
Dangerous.
said some stupid
Dangerous.
No, I'll say this. We came into the week on Thursday down 8. The ball's in our court. I said we got to peel one back per week. The ball's in our court tonight. We got to get this done. It's a must-win tonight. If we can get it to 7, we're one better than we were coming into last week. So let's get it done tonight, Parts, and I think Pudge has got us right.
Okay. Well,
right.
listen, we've got you guys in a blender, man. Al's brother, I'm sure, has his feet up, lighting a cigar right now listening to this because we're in the driver's seat. We feel very good about where things stand. And yesterday, you guys, I told you, I said, do not bet against Josh Allen at home. Do not do it in the regular season. The playoffs is a different beast. But Allen, I just looked up on FanDuel. He's plus 150, heavy favorite to win the MVP. And I think it's because you look who's around him. You know, like Mahomes is there. There's, Danny Dimes is not winning an MVP. Indiana
Come
Jones.
on, man.
He's not
He has
winning
one
the
bad
MVP.
week, and now all of a sudden he can't win the MVP.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling
His
you he's not going
performance
to.
yesterday cost him the MVP.
Agreed. It wasn't a good day, but if this guy, they don't have a tough division. If this guy rattles off a bunch more wins, he'll be in the conversation.
Conversation, fine. Same
There's
thing Drake
recency
May.
bias here. We weren't talking about Josh Allen winning MVP until last night's performance or last afternoon.
But listen, he's still had a really good year. He's put up numbers. In the MVP, it's a projection because there's still 9 games to be played.
Yeah, fair.
I look at the way he played yesterday. I saw him on the podium. I heard you and Jay talking about him. That guy just sounded He sounded like he was so dialed in.
It did, and it was funny because when I heard him, I had never heard that term either, the term slotted, but just his demeanor. He's always been a candid interview, I find. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like he's putting on a show. You just feel like he's authentic. At least that's my vibe on the guy. When that interview, and like you said, I said on Jay yesterday, I just felt like it was like the assassin is back. Mm-hmm. He comes out there yesterday, and obviously Cook had a big day, but quietly he throws for 273, runs 2 in, throws 1, has 3 total incompletions, and didn't even need to break out the Superman vibe. Like, he was just chilling back there in control, looking at everything, going through his progressions. This isn't a stretch for me. I thought as a team, not just Josh, that was the biggest statement performance I have seen the Bills team make in the last 5 years. It was the most complete game I've seen him play.
Yeah.
So what about the Chiefs? Do you like them, or what was?
I still like
5-4.
the Chiefs.
5-4.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think that they're an incredible team, but it was, a bit shocking how they just got utterly dominated. I thought the final score, the 28-21, was not indicative of how badly they were dominated in all 3 phases yesterday. You look at Mahomes' numbers, 15 of 34. Like, the guy has an under 50% completion percentage, and a lot of those 15 were off-schedule, miracle style, very slim margin of error, very slim margin of success plays. Like, he was running around like crazy. They did nothing really well. And it wasn't like he didn't have all his weapons. The whole O-line thing started to rear its head a bit. I don't think it's, again, as much as I want to blame the Chiefs, I just thought the Bills, I'm not sure you can play much better. They ran the ball well, they passed the ball well, and they played defense extremely well.
So, Bartz, let me ask you this. What the hell would happen in a pressure playoff game if these two meet again, and why Mahomes would move on and not Josh?
Well,
tell me.
That's the thing is, Josh's performance yesterday, he always seems to have Spags' kind of number. He's been very good against the Chiefs, even in the playoffs. He understands what's going on. He's been great against that squad. The difference yesterday was, generally speaking, Mahomes torches the defense. It becomes a shootout, and it's kind of like a last person to have the ball type vibe, or whoever gets the best bounce / the one big turnover. Where yesterday, even the bounce of Prater hitting the field goal at the end of the game, the Bills just flat out dominated. So I'll say this. The Bills' defense, to me, was really the unsung hero in this thing, and the most shocking ordeal. If they want to beat Mahomes in the playoffs, they're going to need to have another performance like that. And as I'm giving the Bills all their flowers right now, I will say the worst thing that happened to Buffalo was the Oakville, Ontario native, I believe it's Mike Hoyt. It sounds like it's an Achilles.
No, he just came back, didn't he?
He just came back, and you lose Ed Oliver for the season, and I was very worried about that. But you got him off I think he had a PED issue. Does that sound right? He had a drug test ordeal. And then it sounds like he's going to be out for a substantial amount of time. I thought Mike Hoyt was everywhere while he was playing yesterday. And Bosa looked great as well. So that's another big loss you feel for Buffalo, because it's like, man, just when you feel like, wow, what a statement, what a game, defense looked great, and the youngster corner looked awesome, it's like, man, we just lost another key piece of this defense.
Well, the injuries are huge, and I'm looking at FanDuel again, the odds for winning the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are still favored at plus 550.
I get it. This is the thing you guys asked him with the Chiefs. I'll tell you the biggest news in that division this week was Joe Alt. Alt, when he was playing the tackle for the Chargers, when he was playing this season, that was a completely different offense. They ran the ball much better. They look completely under control. And it sounds like, again, Joe Alt's going to be gone for a significant period of time.
The injuries are crazy, man.
They're crazy.
Tucker Kraft done
Yes.
for Green Bay. That's a mass. That loss yesterday was so inexcusable. Matt LaFleur is getting destroyed in Green Bay. He should. It was horrendous coaching. You can't lose to that team. You cannot lose to Carolina.
What about the jerseys, though? Did you like the coloring?
No.
No,
Not really.
Everything about it sucked.
Everything was
Noodles,
awful.
I might be in the minority here.
I kind of like them.
I'm
go
over
ahead.
this whole NFL jersey thing right now. Like, back in the day when I'm playing, it's like, man, we had our homes, we had our aways.
It's a money grab, man.
that's what I'm
Everybody's
saying.
got to
I'm
have
sick of
3
it.
and 4
Everyone's got 3 or
jerseys,
4.
these
I'm sick of it,
specialty
bro.
jerseys.
I can't stand it. You know, it went from like 3 jerseys, one like alternate, 2 home, 1 home, 1 away, to like now there's the Thursday night color rush. Now there's the throwback. Now there's the throwback. Even if you don't, like, you're the Arizona Cardinals, you don't have a throwback.
Yeah.
We'll
This
just
is
make
our
a
City
sandstorm
Connect.
jersey.
This is our City Connect jersey.
Correct.
Well, I
It's
just
driving me nuts.
What color was that? Was that copper? What was the color?
The
I couldn't
helmets
figure
were
it out.
wild.
The helmets were just stupid.
But it looked. I was on my screen. It looked brown or copper, and I was trying to figure out what it was. But I kind of was like, all right,
All you're
cool.
into it.
Like
That's fine.
They didn't play well enough. I would
Well,
like
they
to
lost
see them
to
win.
a terrible Carolina team.
Keep
against-
pounding.
Yeah.
Panthers, keep pounding.
Keep
They're
pounding.
They're
Hashtag
better
keep
this year, to their
pounding.
credit. But the point
Yeah.
I'm making is Kraft out is huge.
Huge.
And, not alone. Like, obviously, Jaden Daniels probably done for the year. I haven't seen an update today. Now, that Washington wasn't making the playoffs, I don't think. They've been a huge disappointment this year. But you talk about the flashbacks in that area with the RG3 stuff. Like, RG3 had that magical rookie season, and then he just ran into injuries, and the team stunk around him, and it was terrible. And now Daniels, had the same thing last year. And in the playoffs, he was so clutch. This year, he's had a lot of injuries, and now I got to think he's done for the year. That looked gruesome last night. The team's old, and they're not very good. And if you're in Washington, you're probably thinking, what the hell is going to happen now?
Yeah, it's not good. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I'll say this. There's a lot of people online being like, why is he even playing? That I thought was ridiculous. I spoke about this with Jay yesterday. There's 7.5 minutes left, and you're on the 5-yard line. You score that, you're down 24. So you need 3 scores. The percent chance of you winning is less than 1. I understand that. But with 7.5 minutes left, we have heard of crazier things. You get a turnover, you go for 2, and now all of a sudden it's a 16-point game. It's extremely unlikely. I'm not delusional. But you can't sit there if you're Dan Quinn and be like, yeah, we're probably not going to win. It's a very high chance, but, let's just quit. Let's just take our starter out. You can't do that. So I feel for Dan Quinn. You talk about the Commanders. They're jammed. They're jammed. Not as bad as we are, Parts, because we're going to come back and find a way to win this thing.
Pudgy.
But, yeah, Pudgy's picks is going to get us right. Starts tonight. But I'll say this. Wait till, listen, if Pudge goes on a heater, wait till we get Pudge on the show. You guys are going to.
All right.
Yeah. But
I
say
expect
this.
like this little circus carny with no tarp on and a hairy chest and just like a
Hacking
legend.
darts. Yeah, he's a legend.
All right.
I've
We'll
known the
see,
guy
man,
since
because the game
kindergarten.
tonight, this is not an easy game.
It is for
it's
Pudge.
Okay,
This
Cowboys
guy's
are
betting on a third-level Italian soccer, okay?
all right.
This
I
is the
love this
type of guy that I've got. I had to go to the bullpen,
Well, it's Dallas land 3 at home against Arizona. I have not seen if I don't think Murray's playing tonight, but I know it was questionable. Maybe he could.
How's that a tough game for you, Hayes?
Because Dallas's defense is horrendous. And if you look at Arizona, yes, they've lost a lot of games, and a lot of games in a row. I believe 5 in a row or 4 in a row. They're generally tight games that they lose. They're actually not getting blown out. And it's Dallas, man. It's Dallas, and it's the Cowboys, and it's their defense.
Parts, hit him with the info.
Go ahead.
Make the pick.
Well, there's a caveat to Pudge, Parts. Pudge is a man of few words.
Oh, yeah?
Pudge is a man of few words. The response said, I would take Dallas at 3.5. Seems like an easy one. They're better at home than on the road.
Okay.
That was all he
Not a
got.
ton of tremendous information in there.
Listen,
This guy's scaring the hell out of us.
This guy has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
no, I'm telling you, this guy bets on Syria Che or C, whatever
That's
you want to
fine,
call it.
but we're not playing.
This guy's up at
Juventus
5 a.m. in the
versus,
morning.
You know, like we're not playing the Italian soccer league right
This
now.
guy's going to come in. He's going to close the gap until I get my head on straight, and then we're gonna ride.
Okay, so you're laying the points. You're taking Dallas.
We're
tonight.
taking the boys tonight.
All right, because -3. It's not 3.5. I want that pointed out.
Oh, for sure.
As
That's
of right
better
now,
for
it's
us.
3 on FanDuel.
Yeah. 3's good.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you, Doogie.
Very concerning.
I think that would probably be where Al's brother and I might lean with Dallas at home, but I don't think this is a guarantee at all. Man.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, Al's brother's had his first good season ever right now. You know, he's usually terrible.
When you think about it, the first ever.
Yeah, which it's one of those years. And I thought, who is a better, more sophisticated gambler that I know than Al's brother? And I had to go to my guy, Pudge. Once again, I've known him. If he were to be on here right now, he'd have a cig in his mouth. He'd be on his computer looking at gambling lines.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens, man. This could be the quickest hook of all time. Like if Cardinals win big tonight, this guy gets
This guy's
launched.
gone.
He's gone. You'll
I
never
don't
hear
even
his
want to
name.
meet him. So I'm not talking to him, but he's gone.
Very fair. But I think Pudge is here to stay.
Okay. All right. It's desperate, man. Like, it's desperate. You guys.
It is.
We were
We
1-1
must
this
win.
weekend, and we had a team meeting today talking about how unacceptable that is for us.
Listen,
Like, we lost a game, and we're not happy.
we won Thursday. With the Chiefs jammed us. I still think that was the right pick going into it based on the information.
We should have
got
known
jammed.
better with the Colts that at some point, like, their season was too easy.
Yeah.
At
Fairy
some
tale
point, they
was
be
gonna
going to
end.
get smacked.
I
or
will
at least
say-
be in a tough game.
My boy, also a friend of Pudge, did text me before the Steelers game and gave me, shout out Nick Corrado, they're listening right now in Windsor, gave me the information. He's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, there's no way the Steelers don't cover the spread. And
With
he's
Bill
like,
Cowher in particular.
yeah, this guy has Heinz Ward's glove in his bedroom.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah,
these
Bill Cowher's
these
an
are my
inspiring
homies,
guy.
man.
He's an inspiring guy.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit where credit is due.
Hey, Parts, we get this one tonight, get to 7. They choke on Thursday. Look out.
Okay.
I'm worried,
Look
though.
out.
All right.
I'm worried. I'm
All right,
really
lock it
worried.
in.
I'm
Lock
worried
it
that
in.
Pudge is a guy who's a pothead that, like, sitting in a room.
No comment.
idea
Absolutely
what
no
he's
comment
doing.
on that, Noodles. I have no comment. I don't know
Personal
what you
lives
mean.
irrelevant.
Just like
I'm
sitting
pleading the
there,
fifth.
staring at a screen, doesn't know where he is. It's like,
No
what?
clue.
Yeah,
No
like
clue.
that.
And he's going up against us. And we are machines right now. We are seeing the board so clearly. It's 40-40 vision.
Love
All right. Dallas is the pick. Good luck to you and Pudge and the O-Dog.
Let's go.
Involved. Timo and Wilson. Best of luck tonight.
How about them Cowboys?
How
Let's
about
go.
them Cowboys
Let's
tonight?
go.
There he is, Luke Wilson, joining us. He'll join us again later this week. Pick is in. Big Monday nighter tonight. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. We got that. We got the
stuff.
Leafs playing tonight. And, yeah, the NHL's rocking, man. We'll get back into the Jays. We got something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza still to come. Our best bets later in the hour.
Did the Jays have, like, I was joking the other day, I think on our emergency show, there's no year-end party for them or anything. They're gone.
They're
right?
gone,
Like,
man.
there's
Vladdy's
no,
on a bird to Cancun.
Dude, I saw a guy when I was down there. There was a player rolling out his suitcases out
like
of the
packed it up and gone.
Yeah, like was basically waving to people. That's how it goes. That's basically like
Yeah.
they get 18 days off a year.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
they-
when they're in their playing city, it's just like a hotel room. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I don't think they really settle in anywhere when they're playing baseball. It's like their home is like in the wintertime.
Right.
That's where they settle in.
That's right, because
They're
can
just
play so
staying
much.
somewhere in Toronto to play baseball, and then they're out of here, man.
And they get to the park, like Schneider said it after Game 6. That game was at 8 o'clock. He said, guys will be in here at 1 tomorrow playing cards. That's 7 hours before the game. Like, they're not it's just it's a different vibe.
Here's
man.
the other
next
thing.
day, guys are out. Same thing with the Dodgers. They had their parade today. They're all gone. Shohei's probably on a plane to Tokyo right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're out of there, man. There's no sticking around.
It is funny, though, that you said, like, a game at till 8, and then they're here at 1 o'clock the next day playing cards.
Yes.
Like, there is the vibe. I've been in those clubhouses. When I played in St. Louis, we hung around them all the time. It is quite relaxed. Like, you could tell the pressure when the game is on. But these guys, there's not a lot of, nerves building up to the game. Like, they're pretty, because they do it every day, Apparently the food is ridiculous. Like there's just it's a feed bag 24 hours a day if you want to.
I could see that.
That's
I could definitely see that. Yeah. It's a long ride, man. And if you make it to the end, like there have been teams that have been done for 5 weeks, like and teams that knew they would be done. If you were the White Sox, you knew in May you were done.
Dude,
like
the
you were
White
making
Sox
plans.
are well into their off-season program.
Yeah. Like the spring training, they report in like 99 days, man. They're inside 100 days, and you got to get back down to Dunedin and start working again. It happens quick. All right, back into the Leaf game tonight. Something to chew on coming up as well. Looking back on the World Series and the Jays and how we might remember it, and specific players in particular. And best bets later in the hour. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
The NBA on TSN is happening now. And for tip-off, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, TSN is your home for hoops.
Sunday football all in one place. TSN Plus. Subscribe now.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Bets coming up. We'll get to something to chew on here in a moment. Victor tweeting in, I think, with a very reasonable request, saying with the World Series over, maybe you guys can hand out some Lou Brown awards this week, for maybe the Jays and their season. Maybe we have to do that. Who's going to get the Lou Brown awards after a great season for the Blue Jays? And we got the Leafs in action tonight. We got the Monday Nighter tonight. Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP where you get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you'll get it all in 20 minutes or less. A fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. A reminder, we're in the Peg next week.
Yeah.
Comes at you quick. Next Thursday, Friday, we're in Winnipeg at a Boston Pizza in Winnipeg leading up to the Grey Cup. So
if you're in the
I love
Peg,
that.
come out and
the Peg's out.
cheer us on.
Bombers are out. They're done. Montreal got through. BC got through. So, great action in the CFL already this weekend.
Well, there's lots of people reaching out already saying you guys are like asking me, are you guys coming to Winnipeg? I'm like, yeah, we're going to be there. So I know of a few people that are already put their hand up. They're going to come and visit us.
Okay, I love it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get tickets, free tickets online. So we'll give you more details on that as we get closer to the event. But we've been asking people online, if you had to pick one player, who will define this run for the Jays? Vladdy Jr. or Trey Savage?
Oh, come on, man. Are you serious?
Is there another option? Are you going to say Vladdy? Is that the obvious one?
It's Vladdy. There is no other option. I know. For me, it's Vladdy. It's slam dunk.
I don't know. Vladdy was awesome. Trey was amazing. Ernie Clement, I don't know why, a grit grinder.
Throw him in there, but I guarantee it'll be a landslide Vladdy.
It'll be a landslide Vladdy, but I would like to see Clement's name even in the conversation. That guy was nails.
More hits than anyone. Playoff history, man.
Like literally, every time the guy was up. Unfortunately, is it Pages or whatever?
Paez.
Paez made that catch. It just rattles me still.
Yeah.
But it was a cagey move for Roberts to put him in. Because he made the catch.
He made the catch. Everything broke the Dodgers' way. You go back and look at it, how many times they bent but didn't break. Yeah. And I think it's Vladdy because where he is on the marquee. But I will say, Savage, I think, can turn into the guy that will be remembered if this launches his career. Because this will be the defining start. And, Vladdy had so many big moments. But Savage, Game 2 against the Yankees, Game 5 against the Dodgers are two all-time great performances. Yeah. And, again, I think his Game 5 performance, probably the greatest pitching performance ever, in the history of the Blue Jays. And the fact that he was a kid, his story, it's very unique. It's a very, very unique story.
But does he get you to take him over Vladdy?
Trying to make a compelling case for it, but I think I would go Vladdy too because Vladdy's the leader, and Vladdy had this coming of age month, man. Defensively, he was a beast. He was on the top step. When the benches cleared, Vladdy hopped over the boards quicker than anybody. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get in there. He was right in the middle of everything.
What about this comment? If you're nervous tomorrow night, fellas, look at me.
Yes. Built for this. I was born for this. Like, he played it so perfectly, and it's such a shame that they didn't win, because then it turns into this performance that, like, sets a new bar for everything.
Dude, that T-shirt that Bo Bichette was wearing with Vladdy holding up the Blue Jays helmet with the Expos shirt that says "Born for This," like, that should be the most highest grossing T-shirt of all. Like, someone should get that out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nike, whoever it is, get that T-shirt out there, because anyone would buy that thing. Born
yeah,
for
they would.
this.
Because I remember this. I'm getting deja vu here, because I remember we had this chat about Kawhi and Kawhi's run, and a T-shirt about Kawhi Leonard, and I don't remember the details of it, but we had this chat. Difference is Kawhi, they won. So it materialized more. Now, Vladdy still deserves all the flowers in the world. There's nothing more he could have possibly done, but they didn't win.
Yeah, Kawhi, wasn't it the game 7 against Philly where it dropped in, like it went around that to the shot where Kawhi.
It was either that or his laugh.
Yeah,
that was when JP said "Boardman gets paid." I don't really remember that, but
there was like
good
one
JP.
Attaboy JP.
Yeah, way to work, JP. But like there
JP's
was a
it.
couple defining things with Kawhi. Vladdy came into his own here at the playoffs. Like, he didn't have a great regular season. What do you have, 23 bombs?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have a great regular season.
Was good, not great, not a defining season of his
career. Not a $500 million player type of regular season either.
Right.
There was a lot of conversations on this show going, like, to see Vlad. Barger had 21.
Well, this set the bar now. Like, now that and you're not going to do it for 162 games. It's not possible to be on your toes the way you're on the toes during the playoffs. But now this hopefully and should be expected to unlock a new stratosphere for Vladdy, where it's like you got to go chase. Now, like in the American League, it's Judge, and it has been for years. And I don't think he's Aaron Judge. I'm not saying he is Aaron Judge. But what he showed throughout this run is he's capable of running with the big dogs for sure, like consistently being a top 5 player in the league. And you should be expected to probably grab an MVP. Like over the next 10 years, go grab an MVP. Like that should be expected.
Let me ask you this, Hayes. If we want to be Boston and we want to get greedy and don't want to wait too long for another kind of run like this, are you going to say it's overwhelming the Blue Jays are the team to give us another run out of the major sports?
Yeah. I think you'd have to give them that credit right now. Wouldn't you? Like I think you'd have to. All right, I want to come back and get into the McDavid stuff from Saturday night. I want to play that clip. We'll get to our best bets as well. We'll tee up the Leaf game tonight and the Monday Nighter tonight. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 4. All right, best bets coming up. So, everyone was captivated by that Blue Jay game on Saturday, and the Devils were in L.A., I believe it was, playing the Kings, and they had the game on while that game was going on, and Sheldon Keefe was talking about it afterwards about how acting it was.
Yes.
And the Oilers were playing Chicago, and they had it going on in their building.
I would have told, if I was a coach, I would have said get it off.
But
it's very.
I'm sorry, it's weird. I've never heard of anything like that.
I don't recall ever hearing anything like that either. It's like I could understand it if the Raptors or Leafs were doing it. Like I kind of get it in LA, kind of, but I don't think the ownership. I don't think they all own the same team. I don't know. Maybe they do. I can get it in LA. Edmonton is not Toronto. Like it's not your hometown team that's playing in the championship game.
But I think that's what it says about the Jays and how far they reach in Canada. It's Canada's team.
I know, but
all of my buddies are Jays fans.
I know, but have you ever seen someone playing another sport on the Jumbotron?
No, I can't recall. And it sounds like at whistles they turn the volume up, too. That's the other thing. Whistle goes puck goes over glass or something. They go to, the Jays playing. And you would hear Buck and Dan talking, I believe. That's
which is
what
extreme, and I appreciate where they were going with that because I'm certain there were a lot of people thinking, I kind of want to watch the ball game. It's Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah. Usually there's just an update.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, it's just like, here's what's going on at the Dome.
Well, I in watching the broadcast too, like I don't know, like Jack and Louie, like Jack's talking and I think it was when Falefa went home, it was like they've won the world. He announced they won the World Series because they, it looked like he made it home, right? It looked like he made it home. And then on the replay, like it was just like stuff like that was crazy. But McDavid, you could tell he was a little bit annoyed, right?
Again, they won the game. This is kind of one where you'd think McDavid, maybe you just, maybe you chew on this one and just say, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, here's McDavid after the game.
That was really, really strange. Obviously, we're all on the Jays bandwagon, and everybody's wanting them to win, and it's so disappointing, obviously. But strange to have it on during the game. Listening to the crowd was distracting for sure. I'm glad they shut it off there for the third.
When they're showing it, not only showing it, but they're showing it with sound during the TV timeouts as well.
Yeah,
that's
it was bizarre. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was bizarre. I found myself watching the Jays game, sitting on the bench, listening to the crowd while I'm on the ice. What just happened. It was very strange.
So
That is code for I can't believe no one ran that by me before they decided to do that.
Exactly.
I would have said, don't even think about it.
I do love that he started laughing, going, I found myself watching the game during the
which is bizarre. Like they're
Jays
professionals
fan, right?
working.
Yeah.
And it is bizarre. I appreciate that he's being honest there. And it's not scathing. He's not saying whoever did that should be gone. Although whoever made that call, is walking around thinking, oh, McDavid hates me now. I got to deal with this guy. But, they won the game, right?
Yeah.
And Edmonton is in a pretty good place. But it is strange that the game was being played. Yet, if you're an Oiler fan, diehard Blue Jay fan, has anyone been through worse in 18 months than back-to-back crushing championship losses? If you're a diehard Oiler, diehard Blue Jay fan, and you have been for 40 years.
If that's your bio, diehard Oil, diehard Jays.
Diehard.
That is tough, man.
How crushing have the
Although
last 18
somebody's
months
always
been?
going to come up with something where there's been every one of his teams. He might be just random guy where it's this team, NFL team, and it goes on, and every one of them just suffered crushing losses.
Yeah, but
I don't know who that guy is, but if you're Oil Jays, that is a tough 3-year segment, man.
Very tough.
It is. And even McDavid said, we know the feeling. Like he said something like that later in the interview. He's like, we know what it's like, right? And kind of made a little joke about it. I got a buddy who's a Cleveland Browns fan. Like there's,
that's the other end of it. That's just constant pain. That's numbing pain that never leaves.
Never.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, like that's we all have buddies who are random fans of a team that never will win ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even in the stratosphere. But
that's the unfortunate feeling for a lot of people in Toronto is it ever going to happen? And the Raptors just won in 19, 6 years ago.
Can't forget it.
Cannot forget it. It has happened. The Argos have won Grey Cups. Toronto FC's had a good run.
You said that tweet the other day. What was the tweet we opened our show with on yesterday morning? Toronto can't have good things.
Toronto sports is for fans that hate themselves.
Yeah, like that was a
Toronto
tough
sports
tweet.
is for fans that hate themselves.
I was like, I don't know about that. Like
it's just
said it,
tough
it's
sledding,
just
man. It's like everybody's been. Let's be honest, people there's Jays fans, but the city's dying for a Stanley Cup. I mean, obviously they were so close to having a World Series. But I think people can kind of live with the idea of 92, 93 still being a thing. Mm-hmm. 67 is painful, man.
Yeah, and I went to that dark place yesterday. I was talking with my wife about it. Like, if the Leafs lost in overtime of Game 7 of the Cup final, it would just be the most crushing feeling ever. If they were up 3-2 in the series in Game 6, it was a tight game, and they hit the crossbar with 10 seconds left to tie, and you're like, oh my god.
No, make it worse. 3-1 in the series.
Yeah.
3-1 series lead.
And it just crumbles on you. And you're right. I mean, the atmosphere, the difference is that won't be Canada's journey. There will be a ton of people hate watching the Leafs.
Oh,
and this is where
people hate watching
fair.
Jays fans. Like there's people. I find the fan behavior to be insane. But go ahead, Brian.
But the point I was making is everyone's like, oh, it's Canada's team. It's Canada's team. All of a sudden, people love Toronto and Edmonton. I thought everyone in Edmonton hated Toronto. You know, I thought everything Toronto sucked, or we don't like it, or why does it get so much attention?
Oh, there's a few people that have made a stand. Your
it's...
buddy Mitch Gallo in Montreal said, I refuse to cheer for the Jays.
And I appreciate that honesty.
Yeah, so do I.
He's like, I'm not doing it. I don't care that they're Canada. Like, they're not my team.
No.
I live in Montreal. I don't root for them. It's like, go for it. It's kind of convenient that all of a sudden Toronto is cool with people when, you know, when other stuff's going on, everyone
did you feel – the thing is people hate Toronto because of the Leafs, not because of any other team.
Well, that's not the only reason. It's because the attention Toronto gets, everything's about Toronto, the money's in Toronto, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, there's a lot of money in Alberta, too. The point being is
okay,
more
that's
oil
a province,
money in Alberta.
But anyway, continue. Yes.
Point being is what I'm saying is when the Raptors went on their run – didn't you feel did you feel the same type of love from Canada? I
don't know.
Like
you tell me. You're the one that's from the money capital of the country.
Well, you don't think they're the third most reserve oil in the world on the planet?
Lots of money.
Yes,
lots of
money. Yes, wealthiest province by far. Anyways, the point being is, didn't you feel the love from on the Raptors? I thought everybody did from out there.
I think so. I mean, I don't think it connected to the same extent. I don't think because again, the Raptors, they got here later, and their schedule competes with the hockey season, which doesn't help.
The Jays
them.
are more deep rooted in the country.
Yeah, the Jays have been here. Baseball has had, I think, more of a history here.
I just like talking to all my buddies. They're all huge Jays fans, like huge. Like I didn't sense like. I guess the hate I always sense was more around the Leafs because other teams there's 7 teams in Canada, right? 7 NHL teams. There's only one baseball team, only one basketball team. So I think people gravitate. That's my point. People gravitate towards that.
Yes, I think that's definitely a part of the marketing, and I'm not disputing that it definitely applies, you know. But it was my point is more about the way the city is general. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But it's usually Toronto gets all the attention. Toronto, there's a lot of complaining around the country about Toronto this, Toronto that, and then all of a sudden the Jays are great, and it's like, oh, I love that place. Like always Canada's team.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, let's keep that energy then. Let's keep it going, and let's see where it goes the rest of the way here. But as for the Leafs, now it's their platform, right?
Yeah.
It's their platform. It's their opportunity here, where they've got a chance here to you're not lifting the city up in November. It's not going to work that way. But all eyes are going to be on you because unlike anything I can recall in a long time, the Leafs have been completely overshadowed here. Like completely overshadowed. And in 15 and 16, remember they were so bad. It wasn't really an overshadowing. It was like, who cares? They
pushed
were
them aside because they were garbage.
Yeah, they were the last place team in the league in 15. That's, I believe, when they got. Well, I guess McDavid went that year, but then the next year was the Matthews year. They were terrible, so no one was focused on them. The Leafs are not terrible and have not been terrible for a long time, and yet they've been understandably, kind of put aside because of what's going on here with the Jays.
I hope they can be a little bit more fascinating in the next couple months, I'll tell you that, because we're going to be honing right in on them.
Wow, there is a lot of attention on them now. Like I said yesterday, now that the Jays are gone, it's like, okay, Leafs, what do you got type of thing. Because they are the show in Toronto. They are. Regardless, everybody loved the Jays, but everybody loves the Leafs here. That's the big thing. They are the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, they all can equally fit on the bill, but it's just they're the ones that are gonna, be responsible, I guess, for the civic pride of the city. And
got an opportunity here. They've got a good schedule.
You got to
cash. Got home games.
You got to take advantage. Like Pittsburgh, like Frankie said earlier, they've been getting very good goaltending. Stolarz is going again tonight, and he's got to play well.
Willie's playing.
Willie's back in the lineup, and he's playing with Cowan and Tavares on the second line. That's, we'll see. Willie, been a game time decision. He didn't play on Saturday night. Let's see what he's got.
That's a nice little spot for Cowan if he can ever make that
Big
work,
time.
man.
And Robertson's on the top line. Like, if you're Cowan and Robertson, this is your chance. Robertson more so than Cowan. Cowan's so young.
Oh, dude, it's like Robertson. You want to be a player, you think you are a player, which I love the fact that you think you are, because that's the starting point. But there's your chance, man. Like, you want to make some good plays, give and go, shoot the puck, score some goals. Now you have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what you got, man. Let's see what you got. This is what they drafted you for, and it hasn't really happened. You've been scratched. You come in, you score goals. You've been up and down. So some great opportunities for some of those young guys to show everyone that you actually can be the player that everybody wants you to be.
Right. Well, the guy who drafted him's in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Kyle Dubas is the one that drafted him, right?
Yeah.
Second-round pick, and I'm curious to see what he's got, because I think he's played pretty well. I mean, they've he's a change of pace guy. Like, that's what he is. He put Matthews and Nyes are big boys that are going to play a certain style, and they're looking for a change of pace. And you're not Mitch Marner. You're not going to be Mitch Marner. He's a guy that's going to try to score goals, but the expectation for him will be you got to skate, man. You got to be involved.
Yeah. Well, he has pace, though. That's the thing.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that Robertson has. Now, does he get pushed off pucks? I don't think he needs to win loose puck battles. What he needs to do is get available for the other two and move the puck to them and use his speed. And he's a shooter, but I think he's got a real opportunity. And same thing with Cowan. If Cowan could just settle in, he has some creativity to his game. I think Cowan is still, a work in progress because it's still way early in his career. I think Robertson has an opportunity here to really, if he can settle in or at least find some chemistry there, to find a consistent spot in the lineup. That guy has not been in the lineup consistent in the last couple of years, trying to find it. We know he can score, but what else does he need to bring to the table to be a consistent guy in the lineup every night?
Yeah, and this is what you wait for, right? Like you guys always say, what are you going to do if you're on the fourth line with a couple of guys who can't do anything?
Right.
Absolutely
the leash. I don't know how long the leash is going to be, but they're giving him an opportunity, so he's got to seize it. And if you seize it, you'll keep playing. Like Craig Berube is looking for life here. He's looking for someone to step up.
Well, Domi on the fourth line too, right?
But Domi's been on the fourth line, and he deserves to be the way he's been playing. He hasn't played well enough, and that'll be intriguing to see what happens with him, because that was going to be his spot.
Yeah, sending a message to everybody. You want to play better? There's a chance for you to play anywhere in this lineup. You're basically going to slot where appropriately the way you're playing.
Yeah.
So you do whatever you want to do, and I'll put you where you should be.
That's the
what
way
he's
it should
saying
be.
to the guys.
Yeah. Like, there's obviously exceptions to that rule. Matthews isn't playing on the fourth line, and Willie's not playing on the fourth line. But everyone else, you're going to get moved around. And, Domi's in year 3 now as a Leaf? Year 2 of his deal. And the plan was for him to get that opportunity, and it changed when there were injuries, but Lawton is going to be available now. So if Lawton's going to slot in and play, and we'll see what comes with Lawton too. I mean, it sucks that he got hurt, because that can derail your whole season. Hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it can really throw you off, and he had a really good camp, and they needed something out of him this year. And we'll see. Wow. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Riding with Pudge and Owen Wilson tonight.
I knew you would.
Reluctantly. I would lay the points and take Dallas, but I think it'll be a shootout. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I mean, I think even with Arizona and Brissett playing, I still think they can put up points on that Dallas defense. So I think they cover, but I think it's 31-24, something like that tonight. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays are now available for every NFL game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, we're out of here. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live. Every show streaming live on YouTube Live on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
I'm going to have a great start tomorrow at 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.